I'm the director of the Maternal Child Health Section in the Department of Public Health. And my goal is to just tell you a little bit about our role in the world of autism. So we provide, we are looking at high-risk children, and we want to make sure that the children that we identify are getting appropriate services. One of the programs that we have is our Babies Can't Wait program. It's an early intervention program for children from birth to age 3, so that they can get the services they need to succeed. And you're going to hear a lot of common themes as you hear from all of us talking, the importance of early intervention, the importance that if a child is identified, diagnosed, and gets services, the earlier they get those services, the greater chance they have for success. And how do you define success? Well, success is really about however we can maximize that child's potential. Every child is very different, every success is very different, but we really want to be able to maximize that child's potential. So the child can get referred to the early intervention program either through a parent, a teacher, a physician, any means possible. They would get referred to the program, they are evaluated, and then appropriate services are rendered to that family. Here are some of the challenges. A lot of the kids, as you are hearing, do not get diagnosed at birth. They get diagnosed later. So our early intervention program goes to age 3. Many of these kids aren't even referred to the program until after 18 months, 24 months, even beyond. So there's a small window of time in that program for them to start getting services. The other challenge we have is looking at our resources. We have, I'd say in the metro area, a fair number of resources available, but as you get in other parts of the state, the availability of therapy services, speech therapy, occupational therapy, other types of services for kids is a little bit more challenging. So we have a lot of challenges ahead of us. When you think about reimbursement for these services, that's another challenge. Those things, for the things that the child needs, there are not enough hours that you can spend with the child that you're going to get reimbursed for. So how do we try to address all these challenges? I think number one, as Jennifer mentioned, we do have a lot of collaborations going on. You'll notice that a lot of us are starting to work together because we have to figure out how to take the limited resources that we have and really maximize those limited resources to get the services to the kids who absolutely need them. So how do we do that? First of all, we want to make sure people know early intervention services are available. So we need to get the word out about that. Secondly, the providers that we use, we have to continue to identify new providers. We have to continue to figure out ways to work with those providers. The world of autism is changing dramatically. The research, the science behind it, there's always new information available. So how do we make sure that our providers are well aware of the latest and greatest information? And so we are working with the Market Center and others to help get providers on board to make sure that they get the information that they need. The other factor is the parent, the person who's spending the most time with that child over the course of their life. How do we help parents be the best teacher for that child? It's not just about the therapy services, it's not just about a classroom that they could be in, but that child is with that parent the whole time. So how do we help work with providers and with parents so that parents can supplement those times when they don't have a provider in their home or the physician at the clinic or whatever the case may be. So we are looking at all these different avenues to try to maximize the potential for that child, to maximize the services that are available. And so, like I said, the common things you're going to hear about is kids need early intervention services. The earlier, the better. Kids are getting diagnosed late. And progress is being made. They're starting to get diagnosed earlier and earlier. But there's the flip side. More kids are getting diagnosed earlier, so that's an even greater need for early intervention services. So now we have to look even harder to find enough providers so that if they are getting diagnosed, we can provide them with the services that they need. So there's a flip side to that. And we do have the issue of health disparities. Those kids that are minorities tend to get diagnosed much later, age 7, age 8. And so how do we change that so that they can get the same advantage of services that everyone else will get? So again, we are working with a lot of our partners here to make some changes, but we have a long way to go, and we would certainly welcome your questions and thoughts on how we move forward. Thank you.